up shortly, we bring you the DBS Major Morning News. At this time, we'd like to extend sympathy greetings to Mary Walsh of Juradal. Sympathy greetings going out to the Walsh and Thomas families. Greetings coming from Rose Nelson and the Nelson family. Urging you guys to hold strong and be courageous as you bid your loved one farewell today.
DBS News. Fresh in the morning. Eye-opening and balanced. The DBS Morning News starts right now.
This morning's headlines: the Director of Public Prosecutions, Shoma Dairampul, has warned against the use of realistic imitation firearms. In news from the region, Jamaica's opposition claims voter suppression during last week's general election. And on the international scene, Brazil's former president sentenced to 27 years in jail. Good morning, I'm Gavin Richards with the DBS Major Morning News. The details right after this.
Tired of having the same boring breakfast every morning? Well, Monflake Oats is the healthy and perfect solution just for you. Make your breakfast exciting by adding Monflakes to your pancakes, parfait, or even milkshake. Monflake can be found in different sizes and available in granola, such as Caribbean or Hawaiian. Stop worrying about what to prepare for your breakfast, dessert, snack, or even dinner. Monflake is the best addition to your meal. Grab yourself a bag today.
Locally distributed by Fine Foods Inc. and available island-wide.
Since 1910, HHV Whitchurch and Company Limited has proudly served Dominica, offering a wide variety of products and services in shipping, logistics, insurance, travel, retail, and wholesale. We are committed to serve you. Contact us today at 767-255-1100 or visit us at our main office on Old Street, Roseau. From humble beginnings to proud achievements, HHV Whitchurch and Company Limited.
Petro Caribbean. Tank installation is part of our mission. Excellent client support is what we got. Contribution to development of Dominica. Supply of LPG at an affordable rate. Let's go. Petro Caribbean straight. No time to waste. So come on everyone with me to Petro Caribbean. 250 gallon propane tank. 420 pound propane tank. 100 pound LPG cylinder. Petro Caribbean. 20 pound fiberglass cylinder. Petro Caribbean. Petro Caribbean. Petro Caribbean. Petro Caribbean. Petro Caribbean. Petro Caribbean. Petro Caribbean.
DBS News.
Welcome back. First up in the news this morning, Director of Public Prosecutions Shoma Dairampul has warned against the use of realistic imitation firearms. Realistic imitation firearms are objects which have the appearance of a firearm. Well, she told the Ministry of National Security program on DBS Radio last night that Dominica's Firearms Act makes provision for a fine or imprisonment for anyone found guilty with the use of an imitation firearm.
Yes, Section 39 of the Firearms Act deals with what is termed a realistic imitation firearm. Basically, it's a device which looks like a firearm, but you cannot tell that it is not a real firearm unless it is brought to an expert. There is a prohibition under Section 39 of the Firearms Act in respect of realistic imitation firearms. The prohibition is that one shall not manufacture a realistic imitation firearm, modify an imitation firearm so that it becomes a realistic imitation firearm, sell a realistic imitation firearm, bring a realistic imitation firearm into Dominica, or cause a realistic imitation firearm to be brought into Dominica, and the person who contravenes this is guilty of an offense and is liable on conviction to a fine of $3,000 or to imprisonment for 1 year or to both. As I stated earlier, a lot of the sentences under the Firearms Act includes the option where the court can both fine and confine the individual. So you can have the court giving out a sentence of a fine and still deciding to send the individual to prison.
Director of Public Prosecutions, Shoma Rampel. Meantime, Assistant Commissioner of Police, Arlene Maxime, says there are examples of the use of imitation firearms to commit serious crimes in Dominica.
From recollection, we can take our mind back to the 20th of September, 2023. At 2:05 in the afternoon, somebody decided that they wanted to rob, or they tried robbing the Mom's supermarket in Massac, and taking some monies and items from there. As well, we can take our mind back to 2023 in the Lindo Park gas station was robbed using imitation firearms. Those were not real firearms. Those were realistic imitation firearms. And persons out there may think that it's just a toy. It cannot fire any rounds, but they can be used in the commission of offenses. Sukis in Newtown on the 29th of August 2013, an imitation firearm was used to rob him of cash. And I can even go a little further. The NP gas station in 2023 was robbed using an imitation firearm. So indeed, there is a concern. There ought to be a concern. People may just see them as toys, but they're not just toys.
Assistant Commissioner of Police, Arlene Maxime. Meantime, the Director of Public Prosecution, Shoma Rampel, says the importation of toy guns into Dominica may have to be discussed.
There is certain stores that may be importing the toy guns. Left to me, I would just ban the importation of toy guns. I suspect that is a submission I would have to make to the Honorable Attorney General. It is based on what I see every day in court. This society we live in right now, we have a lot of the illicit use of firearms. Are we going to nurture our young minds to accept that a gun is just a toy? So we know what would happen in the future, where we have our young minds looking at a gun as being just a toy that you could just shoot someone. It is going to reflect in our society. So I would just simply avoid the importation of these toy guns.
Director of Public Prosecutions, Shoma Rampel. A shooting incident in Granby yesterday has left 27-year-old Lee Joshua Leslie dead. Milia Joseph Dennis visited the scene of the shooting.
It's an unfortunate scene here in the beautiful community of Granby. The information reaching DBS, of course, is there was an alleged shooting here this afternoon, just about 1:30 p.m., which claimed the life of Lee Joshua Leslie of Granby parentage, 27 years old, just living in the community for just about 4 years now. And the information reaching us is that he was shot and killed right here. He has been officially pronounced dead by a medical doctor. So that is the situation here in Granby. Again, an alleged shooting claiming the life of young Lee Joshua Leslie, 27 years of age. And the initial stage of the investigation is ongoing. It's an unfortunate scene here in the community of Granby. Quiet. The folks would have been awakened somewhat, or surprised more so through the sounds of gunshots. And so we are here just below Lale, above an area we would have called Attis. So just below Bem Shop area, for those of you who would be familiar with Granby. So we're here in Lale, where this incident took place. Again, an alleged shooting that claimed the life of a young man, again by the name of Lee Joshua Leslie, 27 years.
Meantime, Amelia spoke to the mother of the deceased, Miranda Brown.
Aladdin, his nickname was Aladdin, his real name was Lee. And he was a very nice boy, very nice boy. That boy was very nice. He was with everybody. I don't know what happened. I really don't know what happened, why the person that chose to kill him that way did it. But I pray that his soul rest in peace. Also, I am heartbroken. I have other children, but that one, it hurting me for this one there, because I wasn't expecting that. I just pray God he rest in peace and that I find justice for my son. That's all I'm asking, justice for my son. That's what I want.
Where were you when you heard the news?
I was at work. At the time, and I got the news from somebody calling my phone telling me, look, they just shoot my son there and he on the road there and so. And then I got another call from my other friend, Merlin down the road. She called me again and she told me, Miranda, you're not coming and check on your child. Look, they shoot Aladdin and Aladdin lied on the road there and no police, nobody. So I had to call the Roseau ambulance and then they tell me they will call the police station and so forth to pass the message. And then I left work with a co-worker of mine from Martin. She couldn't let me go by myself. She came with me and she was supporting me all the way. Yes, so
when you came, what did you see?
When I came, I saw, they tell me, look down there, his body is. So I said, everywhere bow up already. So everywhere was taped up and so I couldn't come close to the body. But then after a good while, when they uncover him to do their investigations and so forth, they were doing investigation. I happened to take a glance and I saw him. The boy always had a smile on his face. He died with all his teeth showing. All his nice teeth showing. And he does dead just like that. Oh God, I ask you to forgive the person that do it. But it wouldn't go easy like that.
And that's the mother of the deceased, Miranda Brown, speaking with Amelia Joseph Dennis yesterday. In some more news this morning, the Electoral Commission has shut down claims that voters who are residents abroad must meet a resident requirement in order to be confirmed. But the voters' confirmation process is set to begin next month. Chief Elections Officer Anthea Joseph made this statement to the media yesterday.
Recently, there have been some concerns about who is allowed to be confirmed as a voter. The Commission wishes to address those concerns as follows. It is essential to differentiate between voter confirmation and voter registration. Voter confirmation refers to the process by which an individual already included on the voter list published in May 2025 can confirm his or her status as a voter. This is an opportunity for those eligible voters to confirm their intention to participate in the electoral process. It is crucial to emphasize that the voter confirmation process is exclusive to individuals who are already registered on the voters list. This clarification is important considering misinformation suggesting that voters who are resident abroad must meet a residence requirement in order to be confirmed. This is not true for Dominican citizens. A Dominican citizen whose name is on the voters register or list and who resides abroad does not have to be a resident in Dominica for any period in order to be confirmed. On the other hand, however, a Commonwealth citizen whose name is on the voters list is not entitled to be confirmed if he or she has left Dominica and appears no longer to be an ordinary resident in a polling district.
And that's the Chief Elections Officer, Anthea Joseph. Joseph emphasized that all registered Dominican citizens can partake in the voter confirmation process.
It is important that the distinction between Dominican citizens and Commonwealth citizens be understood. The Commission assures the public that all Dominican citizens who are registered voters retain their right to be confirmed whether they reside in or out of Dominica. All they have to do is to submit an application with the required supporting documents. They do not have to prove that they have not been resident in Dominica for any period of time between the date they first registered to vote and the date which they apply for confirmation. The application for confirmation cannot be rejected on the grounds of residence. To ensure that every registered voter's right to participate in the democratic process is safeguarded, the Electoral Commission calls on all citizens to disregard misleading information and to approach the voter confirmation process with confidence. We also call on those seeking to misinform and derail the rights of voters to desist from such behavior. The Commission remains committed to facilitating an inclusive and equitable electoral system for all, and we hope that those with a platform and influence will address the process with honesty and correct information.
And that was the Chief Elections Officer, Anthea Joseph. Well, let's head into news from the region where in Jamaica, despite conceding the September 3rd, 2025 general elections to the Jamaica Labour Party, the JLP, senior members of the Mark Golden-led People's National Party, or PNP, have raised concerns about reports of voter suppression, among other issues. Of the 63 seats contested in the general election, the Jamaica Labour Party won 35, while the remaining 28 were secured by the PNP. At a post-election press conference yesterday, PNP General Secretary Dayton Campbell said that the activities of international and internal observers of the electoral process were confined to polling stations, and as such, they did not see certain flaws and therefore failed to highlight them when providing reviews of the process. And on the international scene, the former president of Brazil, Jair Bolsonaro, has been sentenced to 27 years and 3 months in prison after being found guilty of plotting a military coup. A panel of 5 Supreme Court justices handed down the sentence just hours after they had convicted the former leader. They ruled that he was guilty of leading a conspiracy aimed at keeping him in power after he lost the 2022 elections. 4 of the justices found him guilty, while 1 voted to acquit him. Well, Bolsonaro's lawyers have called the sentence excessive, and they said that they will file the appropriate appeals. Well, that's the news. Let's recap the headlines. Director of Public Prosecutions, Shoma Darampul, has warned against the use of realistic imitation firearms. Jamaica's opposition claims voter suppression during last week's general elections, and Brazil's former president sentenced to 27 years in jail. That's the news. Stay tuned for sports.
Yummy. Yummy. Looking for something sweet, chewy, delicious, or even crunchy? We've got you covered. Mars and Wrigley's products are the perfect pick for all your sweet tooth cravings. Available in M&M's, Twix, Milky Way, Snickers, Skittles, and even gummies. So next time your cravings are at an all-time high, choose Mars and Wrigley's.
Available at Fine Foods Inc. distribution or your favorite supermarket island-wide.
Since 1910, HHV Whitchurch and Company Limited has proudly served Dominica, offering a wide variety of products and services in shipping, logistics, insurance, travel, retail, and wholesale. We are committed to serve you. Contact us today at 767-255-1100 or visit us at our main office on Old Street, Roseau. From humble beginnings to proud achievements, HHV Whitchurch and Company Limited.
Petro Caribe. Tank installation is part of our mission. Excellent client support is what we got. Contribution to development of Dominica. Supply of LPG at an affordable rate. Let's go. Petro Caribe straight. No time to waste. So come on everyone with me to Petro Caribe. 250 gallons. Petro Caribe, Petro Caribe, Petro Caribe, Petro Caribe, Petro Caribe.
Covering the nation and beyond, DBS Sports Report.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fence pipe. And Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins and bidets. PVC piping, fittings and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
Here's a quick tip from NBD.
A quick tip from the National Bank of Dominica Limited. Scammers may send fake emails or texts. Remember, NBD will never ask you to reset your more banking password or share your card PIN, CVV, or other sensitive information this way. Stay alert. Stay secure. When in doubt, contact NBD, your partner, your bank.
Welcome to the morning sports. Let's begin with cricket news, where the people of Barbados will probably need some time to forgive their hometown hero Jason Holder, as he played a major role in helping the St. Kitts Patriots in knocking out the Barbados Royals for contention for a spot in the Republic Bank CPL playoffs last night. Well, Holder delivered with the bat and ball as the Patriots kept their playoff chances alive with a dramatic last ball win over the Barbados Royals. The Patriots made 150 for 7 batting first, a decent total after they were struggling at 74 for 5. Jason Holder hit 53 not out of 30 balls, and Mohamed Rizwan 39, Navin Bidassi 30. Well, Ethan Bosch, he picked up 3 for 26 for the Royals. The Royals, needing 151, got the start with Brandon King and Quinton de Kock putting on 42 for the first wicket before the Patriots managed to chip away at the batting lineup. It eventually came down to the last ball of the match, with the Royals needing 2 runs to win, and Jason Holder did this.
It is full, it is Yorker, it is given. It is reviewed, but from Barbados, against Barbados, Jason Holder has kept the Patriots alive.
Well, the St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots captain Jason Holder, he trapped Daniel Sam's leg before as the Patriots pulled off the dramatic 1-run win, knocking the Barbados Royals out of playoff contention in the process. Jason Holder was named the man of the match, and the win moves the Patriots to 8 points, leveled with the Guyana Amazon Warriors for the final playoff spot. The Warriors, however, have 2 games in hand, so the Patriots can only advance if the Warriors lose their 2 remaining matches. But let's hear from the St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots captain, Jason Holder.
Yeah, a little bittersweet, man. Tough that we're in this position. I know we have to sit until the last game against Ghana. Well, next game against Ghana first, and then the last, if anything. But yeah, I mean, it's been an up and down campaign, and I just think credit must be given to the boys the way we fought today, the character in which we showed. Yeah, it was just our own team effort. You know, we probably didn't make enough runs, but it ended up being enough runs in the end. So credit to the bowlers. I thought they did a hell of a job.
I'm surprised you use the word bitter when it's really a sweet moment for you. You had the chance, of course, to bat first and bowl in conditions that were a little bit advantageous to the opposition batters. What would you say about that batting effort first up?
Yeah, I thought we were at least 15, 20 runs short. You know, I thought we should have applied ourselves a little bit better. We lost some wickets in clusters in the middle, and I felt we didn't bat deep enough or give ourselves enough time to bat it deeper. Yeah, having said that, it turned out to be enough. But, you know, I thought overall in the campaign. I thought our batters probably left a few runs out there a little bit short, in times where they could have cashed in. But I guess that's a game of cricket. But hopefully, next year, if we don't get through here now, next year we come back a bit better and stronger.
Finally, you ready for that Bajan public to come at you for denying the Royals the opportunity to qualify in the playoffs?
I'll probably have to stay in my house for the next couple of days, but we'll see what happens. But no, I just want to say thanks to the crowd. The crowd was exceptional. I really enjoyed playing cricket here at Kensington Oval. Unfortunately, I had to spoil the party for the Barbados Royals today. But having said that, I think cricket's the winner at the end of the day.
Well, that's the St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots captain Jason Holder. Barbados Royals captain is Rovman Powell.
Obviously, the game sums up the emotions. It's disappointing, and it's been a disappointing season.
If you had to describe this loss, what would it sound like?
To be honest, adjectives are difficult now to find words. But having said that, I think as a bowling group, we bowl decent.
Yeah, it's the first time you restricted an opposition team for such a low total. Having said that, when you looked at the target at the halfway stage, what was going through your mind and what was your messaging to your batters?
I think at the halfway stage, we as a team will be pleased. And it's just a case of our batters, one of our top 4 batters bat to the end. We kind of didn't play as how we wanted to play. We just let the game keep meandering. But having said that, Jason Holder and his boys fight to the end.
Well, with this loss, you missed the opportunity now to qualify for the playoffs. You still have 2 matches remaining, one against Trinbago Knight Riders and the other against the Warriors. What would you be saying to your team in preparation for those?
I think it's merely a case of us representing the Royal franchise with a lot more pride, and representing ourselves and the people of Barbados. They have come out in their numbers tonight. Hopefully they come out and support us tomorrow against Trinbago. But, that's the message to the boys. Keep pulling hard. We are a young squad. But having said that, that is no excuse. We have played horrible cricket right throughout.
And that's the Barbados Royals captain, Rovman Powell. Well, the CPL action will continue tonight. The Barbados Royals will be back in action again when they come up against the Trinbago Knight Riders. That game will get underway from 7 o'clock. In some more cricket news this morning, Dominica's Arsenio Fontaine and the rest of the West Indies under-19 team will be in search of a series-clinching win over Sri Lanka as the two sides meet in the 6th Youth ODI this morning. The West Indies are leading the series 3-2 following a win in the 5th ODI earlier this week. Arsenio Fontaine top scored with 48 in that encounter. This morning's game will get underway at 9:30. Let's move to some basketball news now as the Peru Super Eagles beat up on the Police Sports Club last night as they raced to a 43-point win as the DABA Premier League continued at the Massac Indoor Facility. Well, Shama Felicity had 19 points to lead a balanced scoring attack for the Eagles as they took the match 91-48. Ethan Boland also added 16, Siobhan Seaman 15, and Kaylin Paul got 10 for the Eagles, while Shyla Farrell had 20 and Jevon Christmas 8. That should be 16 for the Police. The Police are yet to record a victory this season. Meantime, in the other Premier League match last night, the BAA Sharks, they took down the happy 767 Sports Club Dominators. Christian Scotland had the hot hand, scoring 26 points, leading the Sharks to the 67-58 win. Nestor James also added 16 points for the Sharks, while the American duo of Josh Dume had 22 points and Davon Ware had 13, while Kelsey Guy scored 17 for the Dominators. The basketball action will continue tonight with the defending champions, the Detroit Blazers, taking on the Dr. Daru Priestler Sports Club Falcons. That game is set for 8 o'clock tonight at the Massac Indoor Facility. Let's bring you some football news as a clash in colours yet again has resulted in another match of the DFA League being postponed. Well, Tarish United FC were down to face Kensborough FC in the DFA Division 1 League last night at the DFA Technical Centre, but that game was called off due to a clash in team colours. The issue of uniform clashes has plagued the DFA throughout the season. Well, the Dominica Football Association will announce a new date for the postponed match. Meantime, the football action is scheduled to continue tonight with Northside FC taking on the Kalinago Warriors in the DFA Division 1 League, and that game should get underway at 7 o'clock from the DFA Technical Centre. Let's bring you some table tennis news as the president of the Dominica Table Tennis Association, Peter Leta, says the recent donation of equipment to the association will go a long way towards developing table tennis on the island. The Table Tennis Association has received a shipment of table tennis equipment from the International Table Tennis Association, and Peter Leta says that the donation is significant.
Things are looking good for table tennis in Dominica. I mean, a while back we received $2,000 from the International Table Tennis Federation, the ITTF, and now we are receiving a shipment of table tennis equipment consisting of 8 boards, 8 nets, 1,200 balls, and 100 rackets. I mean, this equipment is going to go a long way for table tennis. We have to sit down as an association, as an executive, and plan how we're going to put this equipment to good use. We just completed a talent identification program in August. I mean, for 4 days, we had approximately 50 kids showing up, and we have identified talent. The Dominica Table Tennis Association wants to thank the ITTF, the International Table Tennis Federation, for the assistance, $2,000 and the table tennis equipment.
And that's president of the Dominica Table Tennis Association, Peter Leta. Let's go back quickly to some cricket news, as the 2026 Men's T20 World Cup is likely to be played between the 7th of February and the 8th of March. The tournament will be co-hosted by India and Sri Lanka and will comprise 20 teams. The final will be played in Sri Lanka or India, and that's depending on whether Pakistan is playing. Remember, India and Pakistan are not playing in each other's countries due to strained political relations between the two governments at the present. Well, 15 teams have been confirmed so far for the World Cup. They are India, Sri Lanka, Afghanistan, Australia, Bangladesh, England, South Africa, the United States, New Zealand, Pakistan, Ireland, Canada, the Netherlands, and Italy, who have qualified for the World Cup for the first time, and also the West Indies. Well, the remaining 5 teams, 2 will come from the Africa Regional Qualifier and 3 from the Asia and East Asia Pacific Qualifier. Well, that's where we'll bring the morning sports report to an end. Of course, we'll have some more sporting highlights for you at 11 o'clock during the morning news update and at 1:28 during the 13:15 news. Until then, I'm Gavin Richards saying good morning.
Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fenced pipe. And Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins, and bidets. PVC piping, fittings, and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
Here's a quick tip from NBD.
A quick tip from the National Bank of Dominica Limited. Scammers may send fake emails or texts. Remember, NBD will never ask you to reset your more banking password or share your card PIN, CVV, or other sensitive information this way. Stay alert. Stay secure. When in doubt, contact NBD, your partner, your bank.
DBS News. Accurate, up-to-date, professional. We bring you the news of the nation via 3 newscasts, Monday to Saturday at 7 a.m. The DBS Major Morning News, 1:15 p.m. Your lunchtime news bulletin, and at 6 in the evening, the DBS Evening News. Call us at 448-4302. Listen on www.dbcradio.net. Don't forget to like our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/DBS Radio. Stay on top of the nation's news.